All right, so I want to ask about Mount St. Joe's and some of your time with some former Mason athletes.
All right.
You spent there. You spent some time on the team, both with Will Thomas, friend of the pod, and with Lewis Birdsong, who was also later on George Mason's team. You talked about on the regular pod about Mount St. Joe's having a tendency to have the next player in line. At one point, Will Thomas, you were the bridge between Thomas and Birdsong, more or less. Even though you were there around the same time, that gap was there. And as I have said on the pod before, I am also a BCL graduate. So anytime that anyone's played in the Baltimore Catholic League, I'm sure to mention that fact. Didn't see you play, saw Will play. You were there just the year after I graduated high school. What was your experience like with both of those guys playing on the team for a team that really dominated the conference at the time at Baltimore?
Yeah, these guys were definitely the stars and focal points of the both, I guess, eras, or teams that, were at St. Joe. It was, Will had his time. Like when Will was there, he really was like the man, Baltimore Player of the Year. And, he had a long stint, of just like really just dominating Baltimore. His rival was really Rudy Gay. That was like the legit battle that, would go down, and everyone would attend these games and be at amazement to see these guys go at it, and that's a time to like really like be around basketball, to see, an NBA player like Rudy Gay and Will, who ends up being, overseas like legend, EuroLeague, all that, these dudes were like mega stars, coming up in that time. And when Lewis came in, he didn't come in during the freshman sophomore period. He came in straight in as a junior. So as a transfer, who knows what everyone's expectations were, but I'm sure, Clatchy knew right then and there, like picking this guy up, it was like a steal. He came from Randallstown. He would have went to Randallstown, and this was just like a freak athlete, a little bit different from Will, just a whole different experience. He had like some handles. He had like a nice jump shot touch, and he was super freaky athletic. And that was just a lot of fun, just a lot of fun to witness his growth and witness where we were able to take it, just coming into the mix, because all the other guys, we were together, since freshman year, even earlier, like, 13 years old, before we even went to St. Joe, we were meeting. Some of us played together, and some of us, we like Kevin Swecker, for instance, he was a guy who didn't play AAU basketball. A lot of us AAU guys, we kind of will follow to the same school. And he was a dude who, wasn't in that mix, but yet we were together, from the beginning stages. And Lewis just was a perfect fit for us, after Will had left. And it was really nice, having somebody who could have a whole different aspect, but the same impact on the game than Will.
Yeah, it was a heady time, because that was also just after the period in which Mello was in the league for the now defunct Towson Catholic team as well. He was in there 2001 before he transferred to Oak Hill. So you had Mello in the league, then you had Rudy Gay in the league, you had Will Thomas in the league, your time there. It was really an interesting time to witness there. And all those players coming and playing in Goretti. It was quite something playing in the gym that I was seeing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we used to kill Goretti.
Yeah, I know. In some periods of the league, it was kind of rough for them. I will say my senior year, they did pretty well. I think they actually won the conference, might have lost in the semifinals and the finals of the tournament that year.
You sure about that?
I think so, yeah. No, it might have been my junior year. So that might have been 98, 99.
Okay, yeah, that was before my time, because when I came to St. Joe, we were wrecking it. We were winning.
Yeah,
I don't remember losing much.
That was the year Goretti beat Kevin Pittsnuggles' Martinsburg team, and now had a conference play as well. So that was an interesting time too. There were a lot of good teams. It rotated. Spalding was good back then. They had this kid named Paul Johnson who won Most Outstanding Player in the invitational tournament that we played in. That he was doing 360 dunks and everything during the course of the game. So there were just lots and lots of athletes in the league at the time. We had a guy in my class, Derek Davis, who later on went to play for South Carolina State, who was like one of the better guards in the league at the time. He was an undersized guard. Guys said that if he was a bigger guy, he was only like 5'9", 5'10". Guys said if he was a bigger guy, he would have been like a higher D1 prospect because of his ability to cut into the lane and make layups and things like that. So it was a great league, and I was just happy to experience it, especially since two of the schools that were part of the league then no longer exist in the league as it is now. So it's changed a little bit. Financial problems being what it was during the course of the recession afterwards, and other issues coming up. But I'm glad to hear you had a good time there and played with some really good athletes during your time too.
Absolutely, yeah. We had a lot of great players come through St. Joe, and we all bought in and followed the system. That's what makes basketball fun, when we're all on the same accord. We had a style of play, and we had a respect for each other, and that's what makes basketball work well. And I think a lot of people really appreciated that we played really good basketball. It wasn't always about one guy, even though like Lewis was the man. We had DeJuan Goodwin. We had, like I said, Kevin Swecker. We had Henry Sims. He ended up going to the NBA. He's overseas right now, playing in the BCL over there. It's not the Baltimore Catholic League, but it's Champions League. It's actually really great basketball there. So we had Dino Gregory. He played over in Germany and Denmark and all Sweden and Austria. So we had some really talented guys, Justin McCoy. So I can name drop all day, but those were some of the guys that really made that time special for me during that period.